So this is my 2013 Jetta Sportwagen TDI, 6-speed manual, the sunroof trim, no navigation. Just making this video for anybody who is interested in this car and potentially purchasing this vehicle. I thought I'd give a sort of a POV type of video of how easy it is to drive, how quiet this vehicle really is. And hopefully this can give you a good visual overview of that. So right now we're in Warrenville, Illinois, turning onto Deal Road. Nice sunny day, perfect temperature for a vehicle. It's about 67 degrees. As you can see, pep and acceleration with this car is quite good. I have no issues whatsoever speeding up, passing cars, keeping up with flow of traffic, despite what some people may think about diesels. Now, I don't know if you're able to fully see it now, but I am in 6th gear. I'm at 50 miles an hour, cruising at about 13 to 1400 RPM. Completely smooth. I'll turn off the fan, so maybe that'll be a little quieter. Keep it on one. A little bit toasty with the sun. Downshifting, smooth as ever. Just at 6 to 3. A little bit of engine braking there. So I'm at an idle right now, and as you can tell, very quiet. This is not like a truck. So maybe we'll get a little acceleration in here. It's actually better to shift these cars if you're trying to accelerate quickly at their peak torque. So shift around 4,000 if I'm really trying to accelerate quickly. We can do that one more time. I was stopped by a red light. So that's a quick 0 to 60. Now I let off somewhere around 45-ish. But it's brisk, and it's good enough for any daily driving that I've ever encountered, especially passing on the highway. I mean, with 236 pounds of torque, you really have the get up and go that you need, especially in the lower speeds. So city driving, the diesel is just as fast, 0 to 30 as most non-diesel equivalents. Where you're really slower accelerating is in your upper speeds. The lower speeds, you have plenty of torque to get you going. And passing and hauling things, you'll notice that you're not slowed down as much in comparison to a car that's not diesel, doesn't have that extra torque. Most of the torque in this car comes between 1,500 and about 3,000 RPM. So you have it at that low range. You can cruise nice and steadily at a low RPM without having to really downshift. So going up hills is very nice, as I can keep it in a low RPM and do just fine. The car doesn't struggle at all. Contrary to what the US EPA rates this car at in terms of fuel economy, I received as high as 50 or more than 50 miles per gallon on tank fill-ups. That's when doing pure highway. But I'm also going over, I believe, the speed that they rate the cars at. It's between about 65 and 75 miles an hour is usually what I travel on the highway. recently, a lot of my highway driving's been through Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, which is quite hilly, and I still get about 46-ish, 47-ish miles per gallon average, which is terrific. If I were to drive the speed limit on the highway, easily into the 50s, and also if that were on flat terrain versus hilly terrain. So, very impressed with this vehicle. I know that diesel fuel on average is slightly more expensive than unleaded, or so not unleaded, but a regular, but it's always cheaper as far as I've come across, cheaper than premium, and depending on where your location is, it's cheaper than regular sometimes. When I bought the car in Illinois, northern Illinois, it was 30 cents, 25 to 30 cents cheaper than regular. So, for those of you who make the argument that the cost of diesel offsets its value, I argue that that's not true. Also, there's the maintenance on the diesel vehicles. If you look online, do your research, well-kept diesel engine will last longer than well-kept gasoline engine. Just that they're built stronger. They have to be to withstand the pressures and temperatures of diesel combustion, and so if treated properly, they'll give you more life. And that's one of the reasons that trucks utilize diesel engines. Not only are they more fuel efficient, but they're durable, so you can put 1,000,000 miles on them. You're not going to find too many gasoline engines that'll go that long without major repairs, such as a head gasket or something else where you have to rip apart the entire engine and redo it so that it can continue working properly. The other thing I like about this car, it's sort of a love and hate. This car is very simple. I don't have automatic headlights, which I'd like. I do have heated seats. I do have pretty awesome sound system. Now, the bad thing about the TDI Jetta wagon is that there's no option for an upgraded sound system per se, such as in the Jetta sedan, you can have the Fender premium audio system, or in the higher trim levels of the Golf, you can have the VW, I forgot the name, audio something, upgraded sound system, with a sub and higher quality speakers. They equipped this car with the Premium 8 system, so I believe it has 10 speakers, but they're not, it doesn't really punch like a hi-fi system does, so that's sort of a drawback. I mean, if it was offered, I would have paid the extra amount to have that instead of installing some aftermarket stuff. Aftermarket things never truly compatible. The other thing that I wish this car would have, which some vehicles are starting to come with, is the ability to mirror my phone onto the head unit. I mean, they give me this nice display. If I could mirror my phone's screen onto it, it'd be pretty cool. I'd be able to use navigation right on my head unit. And I'm sure the screen has no issue doing it. It's just the functionality of it being able to do such a thing. So hopefully VW comes out with a kit that enables me to do that. But the head unit itself is very nice. 6 CD player, XM, FM, AM radio, HD radio. So if you can pick up the high quality channels, it'll play that. You can play music using an SD card, which is pretty cool. I haven't really used it yet. It also has an MDI port, which allows you to connect your iPod and actually control the iPod through the head unit. And in addition to that, not a lot of people talk about it, but you can also get an MDI cable that has the end of either a micro USB or USB. So you can go to the store, buy a, who knows how large a hard drive, say even a 500 gig hard drive, put your music on it and just configure it in a folder type setup, plug that in. You can also play that through your head unit. So it's an alternative to those who don't want to buy an iPod. Additionally, there's a 3.5mm auxiliary jack that you can use to play music, and you can stream your music wirelessly through Bluetooth. So you have a whole variety of ways to play music. which is very nice. Climate control buttons, not the biggest fan of. The problem is, I don't know if you can see down here or not, but the choices, so where you turn the dial to, whether it's blowing the air to the feet or the face, they're not angled towards the driver, so the ones on the very right are hard to see. Sort of complaints I have. I know where they are just because I've used them so much, but it's not readily visible. Also, this car doesn't offer a garage opener system. You have to have your own opener, which I do. But the VW keeps it very simple. That's why Audi is a brand in the United States. They're the ones that offer those additional amenities and, of course, an additional charge. Originally, I was considering getting the A3 TDI, but the reason I settled for the Jetta wagon is that A, I could get it in stick. Can't get the A3 TDI in stick, and B, the Jetta wagon has more room. So when I'm hauling things around, I have that additional space that the A3 doesn't offer. So we are at the end of our commute, and I hope you enjoyed the video.